According to reports, according to Ian Rappaport, actually, Patrick Mahomes is feared to have a high ankle sprain, which puts not only his week 16 in jeopardy, but potentially the remaining part of the fantasy football season, as we only have 2 weeks left. So week 16, week 17. This is the kind of quarterback, though, that plays through something like this. Every high ankle sprain has a different level of severity as well. They're not all the same. Someone might have a severe high ankle sprain, a medium range high ankle sprain. There's no real way to know that until somebody comes out and tells us exactly how bad or severe it is, but it is being said to be some sort of high ankle sprain. Now, I will tell you this. If it was so bad that he'd be out for 4 weeks, he wouldn't be able to walk like he was. Adrenaline's kicking in. The swelling when you're moving around doesn't necessarily rush to the body, the injured part of the body, until you stop moving. That's why sometimes when people sprain an ankle or do something, they go into halftime, they can't play the second half, because once your body rests, the swelling rushes to the part of the body that's injured. And so he kept moving around, and that might be part of why he was able to walk around even at the end of the game before he got on the cart. But I would suggest that you prepare to be without Mahomes for week number 16, but I don't know that he misses 2 weeks, and I think there's still a very strong shot he plays week number 16. The Fantasy Football Show, Sunday Night Football Reaction Show, Packers Seahawks Show, that was a pretty disappointing game. Seattle did not come to play ball. Give Seattle their credit for being as good as they have been without a good quarterback all year long, vying for the division, the top of the division for a majority of the season. But they need to get a gunslinger in there, and they need to potentially trade one of their 2 running backs, probably Kenneth Walker, so that Charbonnet and Walker can both live in fantasy football goodness and greatness, and we don't have to watch one sit on the bench, i.e. Charbonnet. The Fantasy Football Show, Reaction Show, Patrick Mahomes Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Here we are, breaking news on Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain. What do you do? I think that, Kelsey got injured in this game too. I think you feel pretty confident that Pacheco gets fed in week 16. You're pretty confident that the team runs the hell out of the ball. Even if he plays, they're going to run the hell out of the ball. And that's hard to trust Pacheco coming out of week 15. So it's going to be a dilemma for a lot of you that are wavering on Pacheco and another option. Pacheco, DK Metcalf, Pacheco, JSN. We're going to have a lot of crazy questions, I think, for week number 16. A lot of people that skated by with Charbonnet playing good. I mean, Charbonnet played good. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault they didn't check down or give him enough work. He had 6.8 yards per carry. I mean, look at Sharp's line right here. He got you 6.8 yards per carry. He only got 8 carries, 54 yards and a touchdown. Now, the game script kind of got away from him, but they had plenty of time to give him more than 8 carries up into that point. I mean, if you're averaging 6.8 yards a pop, you have no excuse not to give him carry after carry after carry until he proves that he can't get you a first down when you give him 3 straight carries. So there is a lot of blame to go around at the beginning part of this game and the usage. 10 for 83 was a nice line for JSN. DK Metcalf, he's got to be playing injured still. Charbonnet, 1 catch for 12 yards. Decent day for Sharps, but you definitely wanted more than 11 points. 11, 12 points is what he got you. Geno was awful, got injured. Sam Howell was worse, 5 for 14. Sam Howell was garbage. This is a horrible side of football right here. If you were relying upon these players on this side of the fence to do anything for you. On the other side of the fence, Jordan Love had a pretty good start to the game, and then it just kind of got blanded out a little bit. 2 TDs, 229 Jacobs, 94 and a touch. Could have had a much bigger day. Nice PPR work, though. 8 points in the PPR department here. 4 for 42. So that really made him have quite a line at the end of it. Jaden Reed, 3 carries, 27 yards. Was kind of nice to get that alongside of the 5 for 34. Wasn't a horrible day for Jaden Reed. Wasn't remarkable, but it wasn't horrible. Christian Watson led the team with 56 yards, but only had 3 receptions. The 2 touchdowns went to Romeo Dobbs, who had 3 receptions for 40 yards, and Kraft was pretty non-existent. Not a very exciting game. It was definitely a downer game. And then getting hit with this news right here, that's what we're dealing with. We already did the news show breaking down the entirety of the afternoon and morning games, so make sure you go back and watch that if you need a recap on celebrating Chase Brown's name. Lamar Jackson, James Conner, Derrick Henry, the list goes on and on and on. There are a bunch of heavy hitters that brought it. Gibbs ended up doing really, really well. And so at the end of the day, a lot of good, a lot of bad. A lot of the bad came from this Sunday evening game. I'm going to hit the super chats here for what we have right now, and then we'll go straight into phone calls, and then we're going to open up the waiver wire portion of the show, and together we're going to comb through the players we think should be added for week number 16 and 17. Knew it with Mahomes. Night Sly, catch this in the AM. You knew it with Mahomes. What do you mean you knew it with Mahomes? Wes, what are you talking about? Okay, appreciate the super chat. Phone lines are open for a brief session, and then we're getting straight into the waiver wire show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, dial in. The pick'ems didn't even land. This is a wild day. I wish I landed more pick'ems for you this week. I'll make up for it with a great week 16. Rob, you're live. God, that static is back.
Hey, Smitty, what's going on, man?
What's up? What can I do for you?
What are we thinking of DK Metcalf?
I don't know. I think he's probably
someone
hurt.
Still would start next week?
Depends on your option, bro.
Would you start Hopkins over him or Pollard?
Pollard. I'd start Pollard over him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But would you start him next week? I think they face the Bucks.
I don't know. I think we gotta let the dust settle a little bit. I want to find out if he's injured.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Later.
Someone said tell Smitty he has a high ankle sprain. It auto-corrected. Let me see if I can fix that. High ankle sprain. The angle of the ankle. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know about DK, bro. I know he hung up, but DK, he's got to be injured. He's got to be injured. I mean, we know he's been banged up, but something's going on. He looks awful. Doesn't look the same. I know Ryan Grubb isn't using him quite properly, but and Ryan Grubb can only do so much with no quarterback. Like, what do we expect? What do we expect out of him? I mean, he does need to get a quarterback. That is part of his, responsibility. But I mean, year one, not everybody can just go grab a top 5-6 quarterback. So we got to give Ryan Grubb a little bit of time. His offense is obviously good. I mean, when you think, I know everybody wants to trash Grubb and the Seattle Seahawks right now, but when you really think about it, this team up until really this week was the top team in the NFC West. They were on their way to clinching the division or winning the division, and they're doing that with no quarterback. So in a way, you got to look at Charbonnet and how he's played, Walker when they've used him right. JSN's been fire for a majority of the second half of the year. There's a lot of good coming out of Seattle. No one's going to remember that right now, but I think we need to keep that in mind in the offseason if they do acquire a quarterback. Hell, let's interdivision trade him, Kyler Murray. Give a fresh start to Kyler. I mean, I don't want him. I don't want him in Arizona. I like Justin Fields over Kyler Murray. Now, I don't want to wish for Kyler Murray to leave and then us get a worse quarterback. Like that is a fear of mine because, again, there's not a lot of top 5, 6 quarterbacks just sitting there available for the taking. And right now, the Raiders and the Giants are set up to be recipients of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. So that's not in the possibilities for the Arizona Cardinals. And then what we're digging into the 3rd and 4th and 5th quarterback. Now, I believe there are a couple other quarterbacks that have the Bo Nix potential. We'll dig into all that in January and maybe even the later part of December. The later part of December, we'll probably dig into the running backs and wide receivers first and foremost, and then heading into January 1 while other shows are taking a break because they don't have the ability to do this 365 days a year like we do over here at the Fantasy Football Show.
Let him cook.
We'll come in early January. We'll be cranking out the rookie content, cranking it out. Sam Darnold would be interesting, Jesus. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, though, and say that I feel fully comfortable with Sam Darnold outside of that Vikings passing attack, which made Kirk Cousins look really good, and Kirk Cousins doesn't look good now. So maybe Darnold isn't quite as good as Darnold is looking to be, because Minnesota just does that. The passing attack is wonderful. The wide receivers are amazing. It's not as simple as, oh, Darnold's now good, let's transfer him on over to Arizona, where they don't know how to play call. Arizona needs to get a better play calling situation going on in Arizona as well, because they have one of the best up-and-coming wide receivers in MHJ. And if you want to pretend MHJ's garbage because Kyler doesn't throw to him and the Cardinals don't dial up proper plays for him or have him run routes that BTJ runs for a wide receiver in MHJ that, I don't know if he had a drop today, but hadn't had a drop since week 2. I doubt he had a drop today. Maybe he did. Did they throw to him? Did they throw to him enough to even have a drop? Hall and Metcalf busted far most of the year. I don't know if I'd say that, Mark. We've got Christian McCaffrey vying for that top spot. You've got Tyreek Hill in the mix for that award, my guy. Tyreek Hill was a top 3 overall pick. Hall's still out there doing stuff. Tyreek Hill, CMC and Tyreek Hill, am I wrong? Are those the top 2 busts by far and away? Or am I missing somebody? It's got to be Tyreek Hill and CMC, right, Travis?
They're up there. They got to be up there, yeah. It's got to be up there.
I mean,
especially
Hall,
where they were drafted.
I wouldn't say Hall's the bust of the year. Hall's played well.
Yeah.
He's a good.
In the Patreon, we were talking about DK, too, and the first 7 games of the year, he was on pace for 85 catches, almost 1,400 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So he just got hurt. I mean,
yeah, I hear what you're saying, Mark. I feel your pain. I don't think anybody can take.
Busted down the stretch. Some, you can say that, but
tailed off.
Season long, it's
season long at CMC by far. Like there's just no debating it. He didn't even play really. He did. Like CMC had 0 touchdowns, and he was the number 1 overall pick. So that there's nobody that can compete with CMC for being the bust of the year. And I don't want to hear like, oh, he got hurt. Like we knew that he was going to probably have that huge bust potential. That's why it was a big avoid for me. Tyreek, man, I went back and forth on that one. Because last year I even had my concerns for Tyreek, and he had an amazing year. But this is what I fear. This is why I do stray away from older players more than the average bear, because I try and jump. Even if I'm jumping a year early like Tyreek last year, it's better than jumping a year late or jumping, when things are on fire. Because you can go and grab somebody else. It's not like you're like avoiding Tyreek last year a year early was not a travesty if you drafted the right player in his stead. But if you look at it like, oh, but if you're grabbing 0, you're grabbing nobody. You're grabbing Tyreek or you're grabbing nobody. That's what how people break it down. It's not that simple. If you were to grab a player that finishes wide receivers 5 or 6 instead of grabbing Tyreek last year, you lost, but you jumped a year early, and people that highly invested in Tyreek, and I don't want to say I avoided him across the board because I didn't, but it felt like I've said in the offseason for 2 years now, these guys with the hamstrings, the quick twitch hamstrings, they fall off in the most abrupt way. And I'd always say Deshaun Jackson is the example you want to think of with Tyreek Hill. When Tyreek Hill falls off, and he appears he has, it's going to be just this weird run straight into a brick wall. Because these guys tend to, and the injuries are next with Tyreek Hill. He's going to start having hamstring injuries. Now, where Tyreek Hill goes in 2025 fantasy football redraft, yearly league drafts, or even dynasty, really, I mean, a different angle for it because he's going to go a lot later. But where they go will determine whether I get back in. You know, like if they're completely free feeling, you know, like Eckler didn't, you know, he delivered for a short period of time this year, but Eckler was free. You know, if Tyreek Hill falls to round 3, I don't like that. I'm not going near that. If Christian McCaffrey is in round 8, of course I'm going to play around with that value a little bit in 2025 drafts. But if Christian McCaffrey only falls to 3.4, I want nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. You know, so can't wait for 2025 content. I'm already like just ramped up by it. I love it more than anything. And we've had a good year for sure. This has been an amazing year overall. Very, very good year. A lot of good predictions for the show landed. And even though that's an enjoyable experience to watch things come to fruition, there's been ups and downs, but there's always going to be. We're talking about thousands and thousands of predictions we make on this show every couple months. You know, we're going to miss a lot. But I enjoy the unknown part, the January through September, the beginning part of September, more than I enjoy the season, just because we got breaking news shows, freedom of different topics. We go live breaking news randomly in March, April, May, especially around the draft. I can't wait. And it all starts January 1, really earlier. So if you're thinking of taking a break, like, oh, I'm going to take a little break from fantasy, I wouldn't. You're going to miss a lot. We're going to get right into it. Even as the season concludes, we're still breaking it down. We're still going into 2025 while we're finishing and wrapping up 2024. We could chew gum and walk at the same time. But if you think taking a break is wise, you're going to miss out on a lot of early content that will help you draft teams before values climb. You're going to get the steals before they become like the Chase Browns, before they rise up and become players that other people want. And on Underdog, you can take full advantage of that in January, February, March, when the values are dog water. Like, we're going to find those gems. And for those that say drafting early is a mistake, it's not a mistake. There's two ways to look at this. If you draft early, you can take advantage of all of the opportunities before people start catching on. And those opportunities outweigh the risk of you drafting a guy that gets hurt in August on a no-contact ACL tear. It goes both ways. Are there going to be times where a guy tears his ACL and you go, man, this is why I don't like to draft early? Yeah, but that was the same likelihood that other player could have got hurt, unless it's a very injury-prone player, which you would avoid, right? You would factor that into your draft prep and your percentage of ownership. But if it's a totally random ACL tear by a receiver that never should have tore his ACL, he was just cutting weird, totally random incident, that could have happened to anybody. The odds of that happening to anybody are the same. If we're evaluating it and eliminating risky red flag players, it could happen to anybody. The advantage of you spreading out, making different teams, so if that injury happens, it only strikes a certain number of your rosters because you're going to be astute and you're going to potentially have all these other teams. You have such a bigger advantage in January, February, March if you're on top of things, stealing away Chase Browns and players like that before other people catch on to it. I don't want to hear that drafting early is bad. That's a total mischaracterization of knowing what you're doing. Hold on, Travis. Let me get these two super chats out of the way, and then I'll go to you. Need 7.5 from Pitts to get my league first 200-point game. Do I get it done? I'm going to say yes. Kyle Pitts steps up and grabs a touchdown and 30 yards for you. But would I bet my life on it? No. You posted your earlier take on picks 1 through 12 of 2025. What's your early 13 through 24? Bradford, I can't do that spitball in a super chat. There's no way that would take 20-minute show segment to go through that. We'll be having that soon. I appreciate your super chat, Bradford. I'm sorry I can't abide by your request in the super chat, but you're talking about a 20-30 minute show, which I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna do my top 25 overall. That video is coming. It'll be probably up, I'd say, within 48 hours. Okay, so Bradford, your request shall be granted, just with a little bit of a delay. Travis, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at the QBs getting banged up and stuff. I mean, there could be 8 or 10 teams with a new QB next year if you look at the whole landscape of things.
Yeah, and there's not enough to go around, which makes me think that Justin Fields will have no problem finding a home.
Right.
I'm
thinking of him too.
Pull up the conferences. Okay, so let's just go straight down. Baltimore, Buffalo, Houston, Denver, they're all good. Joe Burrow, Tua, I mean, we don't like them, but they're going to keep him in Miami.
Yeah,
they don't know. They don't know anything. They're just like a frog. Throw him in boiling water, he jumps out right away. But you put a frog in lukewarm water on the stove, you turn it on high, and the heat starts to go up slowly. He just sits there and bakes to death. He doesn't jump out. He knows no different. It's too subtle of a temperature change. Miami Mike McDaniel's just sitting there in a pot of lukewarm water as it starts to boil, and he has no clue. He's going to get fired before he could ever utilize the skills that he does have to create an amazing offense, but he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what he's doing. He doesn't know how to manage the clock. This guy has no clue how to manage a game. It's wild to me how smart he is. But just so bad. So they're going to keep Tua. Colts, Anthony Richardson, they're not walking away from that. You couldn't. Mahomes, obviously. So far, no quarterbacks have been needed in the first 8 teams. Cleveland, I don't know if you heard the report yesterday that said that Deshaun Watson they're fully expecting back as their quarterback. I can't believe that they really believe that, but they are married to the contract, and I do believe the contract is so daunting when you look at it that they have one more year of this, and then they can say, look, we can walk away from it. But let me put his contract up so people understand the gravity of the situation, because it is one of those things where it's like money is going to drive a lot of the decision making to a point, and once they can start looking at eating a chunk of it that doesn't feel life changing, like throwing up, vomiting in your mouth type of dead cap, then they start looking at it differently. So here's his contract. 2024 is right here. So 2024. His base salary is $1.2 million. His signing bonus is $8.7 million. His dead cap is $200 million. So if they cut him walking into this year, it's $200 million. If they cut him in 2025, his salary is $46 million base. He has an 8.9 signing bonus. His dead cap is $172 million. So when they get into the 2026 territory, that's when they might say, this $99 million dead cap, we're getting rid of him. But until then, there's no way. You're talking about $172 million dead cap. You what?
Do you think they have to look for other QBs then? They can't do that to the fans. I mean, maybe they can in the Browns. I don't know. That page has to be turned. They just have to stick them on the bench.
I think what they do is they put a competent backup behind him. First of all, no free agent quarterback's going to want to go there, honestly, and unless they got rid of Deshaun Watson, and so you're going to put somebody behind him that's competent if you can. And then if he falters or gets hurt, you put in that person and you're hoping they take the job like Brock Purdy did. And then you can say, because if they had somebody like Justin Fields, let's say he can't get a job. Let's say we're shocked. I wouldn't shock me if people weren't racing to get him, because nobody was last year. And it's not like he proved himself and he didn't this year because of the way they mismanaged him. But let's say they got Fields, okay? If Fields steps in for Deshaun Watson. Even if they bench Deshaun Watson, they go, he's kind of not healthy right now. And they make an excuse up. We're going to bench him for a couple games. And Fields goes nuts. Nobody cares about the dead cap money. Nobody. Does anybody care about the 3 first-rounders that they lost in San Francisco over Trey Lance? No, because Brock Purdy saved it. They don't care. Yeah. So all they have to do is try their best to put somebody in a position to take the job from them.
Do they bring Winston back?
But that won't do it. That might look like it'll do it, but it won't do it. The guy can't stay healthy. The guy won't be on the field. He can never finish his season. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a miracle worker for 4, 5, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months max, and then it falls apart somehow, some way. I think Cleveland's a black hole situation for just another year. It would be amazing if they could get a good quarterback because the rest of the team, the components that are there, are pretty damn solid. Defense. Look at last year; they were a tough team. Joe Flacco, everybody was excited about it, and the squad. It's a shame they can't. It's a shame their front office is so inept that they put themselves in the position that they're married to Deshaun Watson for another 2 years minimum. Well, one more year.
Worst contract ever.
It's
got to be the worst ever.
It's the worst contract ever in conjunction with the trade because the trade was just as bad. The trade was absolutely, and so to have this contract as a result of the trade, it is probably the worst deal ever combined. Like to literally, here's 2025, to literally look at next year down this line to $172 million dead cap, and then the next year, 2026, $99 million dead cap. Putting that in perspective, Russell Wilson, I believe, was 70-something, if I remember correctly. 70 million dead cap, which it was like unheard of. It was like, whoa. You think if the Browns cut Deshaun Watson next year, 172 million, you can't. They're running with Deshaun. They just got to find a quarterback that says, yeah, I'll go ahead and walk into this situation. And they're not going to find it. So let's move on. Drake May in New England, Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Raiders are probably drafting. If I'm predicting right now, the Raiders have Shador or they have Cam Ward, one of the two. Shador's trending in the direction of New York right now. This neighbors Shador connection. I'm throwing footballs on the streets. Look, and the fact that Deion Sanders came out and set the record straight. He said, people stop talking and trying to say manipulative things about my son and me in terms of where he will go play football. And that the rumors about that they won't let him play and go to New York, Deion won't allow him to go to New York, is fabricated. It's false. It's all made up. And Shador very much loves neighbors. And I could very much see him going to New York. Too bad Joe Shine's still there, shining with his shine box. Okay, so Raiders get Cam Ward or Shador. Steelers probably re-sign Russell Wilson because Tomlin loves him.
Yeah, probably.
And Russ is going to look at this as a loyalty thing, so he stays. The Jets need a quarterback 1,000%. The Titans need a quarterback 1,000%. The Chargers are good. So the only two teams here so far in the AFC that need a quarterback are the Jets and the Titans. And that's it.
If they fire Steichen, think they move off of AR5?
No. I mean, you never know. You never know. If someone traded for him, you know what would be great? I'd do it in a millisecond. Just to get... They both got questions. They both got risks. Trade Kyler for AR5. I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm just saying I'd do that. Give me something else. Give me something else to fight for, root for. Let's start over. Kyler, Call of Duty. Too short to see over the offensive line. Give me the guy that can't read defenses. Let's see if we can work it out. All right, so two teams, the Jets and the Titans. That's it. Everybody else is a quarterback. So far, let's go to this side of the fence and see if you're right, Travis, if there's more teams. But right now, there's only two teams. Chicago Bears, they need a quarterback. They don't know it. The Dallas Cowboys obviously are going to not be looking for a quarterback. Although the reason I even hesitated for a millisecond on that is Jerry has shot a lot of strays in the direction of Dak Prescott. Dak has taken so many strays from Jerry Jones talking to the press, saying similar things like, you know, do you expect a big drop off when Cooper Rush comes in to play quarterback? And he says, no, I expect him to play better than Dak Prescott. Like, he said a lot of negative things about Dak, but money talks. He's there. So Dak Prescott's staying there. Falcons got Penix Jr. Cardinals right now have Kyler. So unless they trade Kyler, they don't need a quarterback, even though we want them to make a change for MHJ's sake. And is there a chance that it's the coaching staff entirely? Like, they're calling the plays. If you remember, Kyler was making a comment a couple weeks ago where Kyler said, or it was like months ago maybe, that they said, why are you not throwing MHJ? And he said, look, when they tell me where to throw it, and if they want me to throw it, I'll throw it there. If not, then I'll go wherever. It's like Kyler wasn't even making decisions about who to throw to and check down, going through his progressions type of approach to football. It was almost as if the way he said it is like, I'm throwing to this guy. Like, really? Like, the way Kyler worded it made me feel like, okay, you don't know football, bro. Like, he really doesn't know football. If you remember back when he signed his contract, they wanted him to learn the playbook. And it was so disrespectful to say, Kyler, in order to get the money, you're going to have to do so much, studying film, and then they took it out of the contract because it was very disrespectful. I'm starting to realize why they put that in there. I don't think Kyler runs the offense like we believe he does or like other quarterbacks do. I think that's why MHJ doesn't get calls, is because Kyler's already got it in his mind where he's going. I don't think this guy knows how to go through progressions. Not to mention he can't see over the offensive line. When you hear stories about people that get their master's degree, their bachelor's degree, they go all the way through to become a doctor, or they go through and they get their master's degree, and you find out later they admit they didn't know how to read, and they just fake their way through all of college, and it's like a crazy scenario, and it's on, 60 Minutes or whatever. Kyler Murray might have tricked everybody that he literally can't see over the offensive line, and he can't read defenses, and he doesn't know how to go through a progression. And the reason I say he doesn't is because on countless times, Marvin Harrison Jr. has been wide open running down the field without a single D-back or safety between him and the end zone, and Kyler hasn't seen him on multiple occasions, which means Kyler's not even going through a progression. Kyler's not even scanning the field. I really think Kyler is the equivalent of that guy faking, not knowing how to read, and faking his way through not only a 4-year degree, but a master's degree, becoming a CEO of a company, and then admitting later, I don't know how to read. They had 60 Minutes. They did this on 2 or 3 guys that did this. Yeah. 2 or 3 people did this. And Kyle, I feel like Kyler's the equivalent in the NFL. I don't think he knows anything. So Cardinals are stuck right now. Lions, Goff. Giants, they're either going to get Shador or Cam Ward. Panthers, they're probably sticking with Bryce Young for another year.
They'll stick with him, yeah.
Rams, Stafford doesn't retire. They're going to keep him another year. Love in Green Bay, Hurts in Philly. New Orleans needs a quarterback. So right now, Travis, there's 5 teams left. Jets, Titans, and Saints only, bro.
Yeah, I should have specified, like, I'm not saying 100% these teams are changing quarterbacks. I was just kind of throwing it out there, like, you could see, I guess 10 is probably too many.
Okay, so
teams
Niners,
up, which is a lot.
Niners going to get Brock Purdy 50-something million plus. Darnold probably gives the Vikings a loyalty contract extension. I think they pay him. I don't think he skates by or they skate by and lowball him and he accepts it, like a huge hometown discount. But this is where a guy got revitalized, and I think not only did they give him the chance no one else did, but he has success in this specific offense, and I think he's smart enough to understand this. Okay, so you got You got the Vikings, probably Darnold, Washington, JD5, Baker in Tampa, and Seattle. So Seattle, New Orleans, the Jets, and the Titans. Wow. Because of the 2 rookie QBs going to the Raiders and the Giants. So if you include the Raiders and the Giants, there are 6 teams. But right now, there are only 4 teams that are going to be in the market for a quarterback. So Fields is either going to be going to the Jets, the Titans, the Seahawks, the Saints, or maybe in a trade, like some quarterback gets traded out into one of those spots, like Arizona trading Kyler and then Fields. So that's kind of interesting because I'm glad you brought this up. I'm not trying to tear down the argument. I'm glad you brought this up because I have a.
You're right. Like I said, I should have specified. Like I just think that many teams could end up having different QBs. That I wasn't.
I haven't really worked out where Fields is probably going until right now, so this is a good exercise. I think the Jets or the Seahawks, as of right now, are the most likely landing spot for Justin Fields in 2025. The Jets and the Seahawks.
Can you see him staying there in Pittsburgh?
No.
He shouldn't.
0%.
Like, Pittsburgh wants to bring Fields and Russell Wilson back.
0%. He got.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he lost. He probably feels so disrespected. And he's said that in so many expressions and words. All right, hold on real quick. It was a good conversation. Smitty, which 2 from the roster would you keep for next year 12-man league? Mahomes, Knicks, James Cook, Jacobs, Cup, Reed, Laporta, DJ, Bucky. Thanks. Probably going to say if it's a 1 QB, I bet you can steal away a quarterback. I don't think Mahomes is going to go high at all unless even if he wins the Super Bowl. If he doesn't return to his massive amounts of scoring, everyone's still going to avoid him. So there's no sense in using a pick on Mahomes when he's probably going to be a steal. I would say right now, Jacobs, Cook, Bucky, and then you've got a dilemma. Whether you believe in Cooper Kupp. Let me set the record straight on Cooper Kupp. As much as people want to blame him right now, just like everybody wants to blame Charbonnet, just like everybody wants to blame other players that like MHJ and call them a complete bust. They're dog water. They suck. They say words like the player sucks, not their situation's garbage, and I want nothing to do with their situation. Breece Hall sucks. Whatever. He doesn't. None of these things are true. The same thing could be said with Cooper Kupp right now. Not suggesting Cooper Kupp has another year left. This could be his last hurrah. And maybe he would have been amazing down the stretch had he just been targeted right and then fallen off in 2025. But Cooper Kupp was wide open in week number 15. Wide open, running down the field similar to MHJ, and Stafford didn't see him. He was wide open for a 50-plus yard touchdown reception. Had he caught that, everyone in here would be singing his name and praising his name and calling him a miracle worker. But now everybody says he's washed, he's done. I'm not saying he'd be my pick here. I'm just merely saying that after you keep Cook, Jacobs, and Bucky, the conversation needs to be had. Are we talking Cooper Kupp? Are we talking Laporta? Or do you just say, give me Mahomes, because even though he's underrated, he's still the best player by far that's left? That's the conversation we'd have. It would be between Mahomes, probably Kupp. And we'd have to just figure. Laporta's nice, but I think you could also draft him very, very late because people are giving up on him. Now, if he has a strong finish, then I think you got to make a decision to maybe say, hey, people are going to get back on board the Laporta train. But right now, doesn't feel like he feels like he's going to be like this, which is good and bad. Good because I want him to not. I want him to be a steal. So I'm kind of rooting for maybe him not to totally return to form, but that's me. That's a risky thing to root for because you don't want a player to drop off in the middle of all that. But no problem. Thanks, Smitty. Thank you, Bradford. Appreciate you. Bradford, I appreciate you dropping another super chat to say that. In 48 hours, Bradford, you'll be getting, I'll try and even remember to shout you out in the video to thank you for the super chat, bro. So look for that video in the next 48 hours. My top 25 overall 2025 players for redraft. $5 super chat matchup is neck and neck. I have Bijan. He has JJ. Can I pull through? Yeah, definitely. It's neck and neck, bro. I mean, I wouldn't say that you have an advantage or he has an advantage. I think that's a 50-50 situation. Good luck tomorrow, Smitty and friends. Thank you, Ill Phil. Appreciate you. All right, Travis. Let's get into the waiver wire week number 16. Let me pull up the waiver board. This is last week, so I got to change the 15 to 16, and then we'll start moving things around. We had a couple players. I'm already blanking on who I need to move in. First of all, we probably take Garendo off. We probably take Charbonnet off. They're no longer players that I think you could acquire. Bigsby, Vidal, Braylon. Let me just see if there's anybody that needs to jump up here from last week. Sometimes it's crazy the difference in value. Justice Hill probably needs to be brought up quite a bit. Spears, there's Spears. Look at that. Look, Spears was down here, and now he goes to the top. Spears was the one guy that vaulted. Who was the other running back that vaulted? Oh, Ford. Ford because of the broken foot of Chubb. So Ford needs to be put on this list. Ford hasn't been on here for a while, but I've got his mug still sitting here. So Ford is atop the.
They had a good game.
Yeah, so Ford and Spears are the top two running backs to own, I believe. Am I wrong on that? Can anybody tell me if that's right or wrong?
Yes, Spears. Yeah, and I guess you see what McCormick does, but what's the deal with Kamara's injury? Is he okay?
We don't know yet. Groin. Probably a strong shot at being 50-50 for this coming week.
Kendry Miller, you want to pick him up.
Yeah, Kendry Miller needs to be added. It's a good one to add. Okay, so Miller. We'll put Miller on here. Guys, if you see anybody else, make sure you yell them out. And Travis, if you could look at the chat.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on them.
I know Dobbs is going to be on the wide receiver list, so we'll get him up in a second. Kendry Miller. I guess Miller would go somewhere around here. Jalen Warren. What did Jalen Warren finish with, Travis?
Not much. Where is he at this time? 4 rushes, 12 yards, 1 for 3 on the catch. 1 yard, 1 reception, 3 yards.
So something like this. Davis is still rags to riches. Davis is the one guy that literally I could see dragging Davis to the top if like an injury happened or something. Corm shouldn't be above McCormick. It depends on your vantage point, Aaron. It depends on if you're looking at a rags to riches situation. If Kyron went down, Corm would go up here, not right here. And if you want a guy for the now, like you're hit with injury and you need somebody in there, then McCormick is maybe right above Corm. So it depends on your vantage point. I disagree that one is over the other, really. It just depends on what you need. Okay, so running backs look good.
Emmanuel Wilson on there. You have Emmanuel Wilson. He's down the bottom.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what Jacob's deal is. We keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Can anybody? Does anybody see anybody? Let's stick with running backs for this second. Is ETN? Can you look up ETN? Someone's saying ETN, but is he available in enough leagues to put on here?
No, he's only 16% available.
Yeah. So no, the answer is no, bro. Okay, so what else we got here running back wise? Anybody see anything that's missing? Ford, Spears.
Keep an eye on Madison. Madison's supposed to play. They said Sincere McCormick should get the first touches. He should get the shot, but keep him in mind.
Okay. I don't know why sorry about the phone line, guys. It's still very staticky. I don't know what's going on. I got to restart my computer again and see if Madison. Okay, put Madison. All right, let's go to wide receiver. Addison's no longer going to be on this board. Judy's no longer going to be on this board. Jawan Jennings, what's his availability right now?
He is right here. Jawan Jennings is 20% available.
Okay, so I'm probably going to take him off. Dobbs goes to the top of the list, maybe. Is there anybody I'm not thinking of that needs to be on the top of the list? What did Thielen do?
Thielen had 5 for 51 on 7 targets. McMillan. Someone said McMillan.
He's on here, but yeah, he needs to go
Yeah.
up. We'll put him up like right here. Dobbs is, I don't want to say Dobbs is fool's gold, but 1 week he'll do this and the next week he won't. So I don't know that he's like miles above McMillan, but we'll put him slightly ahead. Dunze hasn't played yet. He's an intriguing pick right here. Akine, we're going to drop him down a little bit. Watson, I'll put above Akine for right now. Watson's pretty good. I'd almost say I like Watson more than Thielen.
Yeah, that's close.
Is Downs on this list? No. What was his final line?
He didn't have a good. He was only 3 for 32, but he got 8 targets. He's healthy, so he should be there somewhere.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt, he was playing well.
Let me see if I can find his name somewhere.
Yeah,
I know I've had him on here before, so I think he's just dormant. I'm just trying to find his name so I don't have to. I guess I'll just recreate it real quick. Downs.
Where's
okay.
Worthy on that list?
Yeah, Worthy.
He got
Good.
11 targets today.
Good one. All right, Hollywood Brown. How many available? What's his availability?
He is available in 74% of leagues.
Woo!
Yeah.
What are we thinking? Is Hollywood Brown below Worthy though?
I mean, Worthy getting 11 targets. I mean, I know he didn't have a ton of catches today, but
Guys, what do you think in the chat?
what did Worthy?
Hollywood or Worthy? Which one are you ranking over the other?
He had 6 catches.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say give me Worthy, but Hollywood's right here just because I mean, we don't know what he could be. He could be awesome. Okay, so Akine, Mims,
Coker had 110 yards.
Coleman, Coker, good one. Coker,
Someone in the chat.
yeah, maybe Coker goes. Maybe it goes something like. Let me make some room here. Pearsall, get out of here, Pearsall. Tillman, get out of here. Moore, is that Elijah Moore? Do I have 2 Moores on here somewhere? What's this? That's probably David. Get him out of here. Get out of here. Mechie, get out of here. Naylor, get out of here. Leggett, come on. We'll see you next year. Wicks is.
Bateman had one of his big games. I think he's probably still on there.
What's Wandell? What's he been doing? I honestly, I'm embarrassed. I don't even know what
I don't think anything.
I don't know what his last line was.
4 for 38. He hasn't had double-digit
Bateman.
points since like week 12.
So
Bateman had a good game.
Cooks, Ray.
He is what he is,
Let's go. Robinson down here. Quentin Johnston still is getting some work. Let's keep him up here. Washington. Okay, I'm just trying to make room here. I got 2. Okay, so Mims, Yoshi Voss, MVS, Dontavian Wicks we'll put right here. Pop Douglas scored. I'm sorry, I'm coughing into the mic. I can't control when.
Tim Patrick scored again. I know he only had 4 for 30, but he had 8 targets.
Okay, so Pop Douglas. I'm just making room here. Tim Patrick, you said? Okay.
Yeah, he had a touchdown again, 8 targets.
All right, we'll put Patrick on here. Keep an eye on the chat if you can.
Yep.
Okay, Patrick. Patrick, we'll put Patrick here. What did Vele do? Denver Bronco receiver.
Nothing.
Okay.
He had
We'll put
1 target, 0 points.
Okay, we'll put him right there. Elijah Moore, what did Elijah Moore finish with?
He had 2 receptions for -1 yards, 6 targets.
Jeez, bro. All right. So, tell me if you think this is right. I'm spitballing this, but I got Dobbs, McMillan, Thielen, and Worthy, and Watson, and Coker, and Hollywood, kind of all close. Adunze, Bateman. Bateman may even need to go up. And then Coleman, Adunze, Coleman, Akine, Elijah Moore, Patrick, Vele. Douglas, Pop Douglas, Johnston. I mean, you could even put Johnston up here, I guess. That seems about right, guys?
Yeah. Someone's saying Calvin Austin. He had 5 catches on 5 targets for 65 yards. I mean,
I'll put him on here, but I don't know how high. I'll put him right here down at the bottom.
yeah. He's down the bottom in that glob.
Okay, I think this is good.
Glob at the bottom.
Why is Thielen so high? Because he had some massive work. I could drop him down 1. I could put him like right here. But you could even put Hollywood above him, to be honest. Like I could do this. I could do this.
That whole group, like, kind of still waiting for someone to separate from even that top tier.
And we're waiting on Mahomes. Like that could definitely make Hollywood worth nothing.
Yep.
All right, let's go over to the. So Dobbs is probably the pickup of the week for wide receivers.
Dobbs or McMillan? I mean,
so,
McMillan's really interesting.
Darnold, is he? How many leagues is he available in still?
18%.
Okay, we'll take him off. Knicks.
37%.
Okay, so Knicks is still up here, and he did have 3 interceptions, but he had 3 TDs. He's probably still the pickup of the week QB wise. AR5 availability.
44%.
I mean, he's still. I'm not gonna put a crown on his head, but he's still damn good to pick up. Winston will take off. He's injured. DTR, I'm not too. I mean, it's super flex. I guess I would say DTR. Let me see if I can put that. And Winston still, monitor. What's his stat? What's his news? Let's see. I don't know if we have anything concrete update-wise on Winston.
Kevin Stefanski said he'll make a decision later on the starting quarterback.
So he's healthy enough to play.
In favor of DTR.
Yeah, all right. So he's healthy enough to play. I'm going to put Penix Jr., Caleb and Penix Jr. above Winston and DTR just because we don't even know who the quarterback is. But in Superflex, be very, very aware that DTR could end up being somebody that you could pick up and maybe play in a situation where you need. Okay, A-Rod, what's his availability?
65%.
Okay, so I don't know if it's going to continue to, because he looked like crap in the first half. Would you have Young? Guys, would you rather have Young or A-Rod? And Drake May. Rank those. Drake May, A-Rod, Young, rest of season. Stafford, Tua, kind of hit and miss. Russell Wilson, I don't know. I'm not a big... I guess Wilson and Stafford and Tua are all kind of the same bucket. But what do you guys think? Mac Jones,
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
up until this week, Tua had been awesome for the past month. But
Yeah, that's true.
it's soft today.
I guess we'll go like something along the lines of Tua, Young, and A-Rod all kind of in the same bucket here. And May just below those guys, probably.
Points wise, he's been about the same as Young. I mean, I think Young had the one bigger game.
I think it's all pretty damn close.
Yeah, about the same.
It's hit and miss, guys.
Cooper Rush again. He had 25 points. Like
Mac Jones.
Decent.
Yeah, we gotta put Mac on here. I don't know if I'm putting him above these guys though. We'll put Mac right around Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, if it's not super flex, it's like desperation matchup plays.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, so
but
Mac,
they gotta be up there this time of year.
Mac, Caleb. So this quarterback situation, guys, to me, it's really. Oh, where'd I put AR5? Did I delete him?
Uh-oh.
Whoops. Because he's still available in quite a number of leagues. Where did I put him? There he is. Okay, so I'm gonna put, just because of his ability to run, I'm gonna put Knicks in AR5. Knicks being the top QB to pick up. My personal preference and prediction is that AR5 is still very valuable. Tua, A-Rod, Young, May, Wilson, Stafford, Caleb, Mack. That's a kind of a grab bag of QBs. Tight end, Disley is injured. I'm taking him off. Johnson, Noah Gray was pretty solid again. He continues to do well. He's available. in enough leagues to grab. So grab Noah Gray. Fryermuth he scored. Yep. He looks pretty good. So I'd maybe do something like along these lines. What did Hunter Henry finish with?
Hunter Henry had 4 for 25, 4 targets.
Who am I missing here at tight end, guys?
Strange.
Strange, yeah. Yeah.
Do you have Kincaid on there?
No,
7 targets.
Yeah, we should probably put Kincaid on here as well. Okay.
I mean, he could be interesting down the stretch. The fact that he came right back and got 7 targets. Led the team targets.
What did Ferguson end up with?
Not much. He 2 for 23 on 4 targets. Seems like Cooper Rush doesn't throw it over that much.
What did Smart end up with?
Smart ended up with 5 for 50 on 6 targets with a fumble loss.
Okay, so we'll put Strange. Man, is Strange the top pickup then? Probably.
Strange is up. Strange, Mute, yeah, Gray. If you want to roll the dice, I think Kincaid goes right under them.
I'm gonna go. Strange as the top tight end play pickup.
Oh, Kraft is still available in 31% of leagues. I mean, we know Green Bay is hit or miss, but
yeah, no, I like that. Okay, so we'll go Muth, Gray down here. We'll go. I think I have Kraft on here somewhere. Okay, so Strange, then Kraft. And then I don't know how high I have Kincaid. Maybe Muth and then Kincaid.
Yeah, probably for now. That's crazy. Strange got 12 targets.
Yeah, it's Strange.
With Mac Jones, they're just going to
73
pepper BTJ and Strange with shorter targets and.
Yeah, Ben Sinnott. I've had Ben Sinnott on here all year, and there's a chance he gets his go this week. So this is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe we say bye to Ertz. I don't know. It's a bull call. We're news dependent on that. So hang tight on Ertz. Okay, right. So something along the lines like this. Okay, guys. I think that's good. I think this is the week number 16 waiver wire board. Spears and Ford lead the way at running back. Dobbs leads the way at wide receiver with McMillan and Watson and Worthy and Hollywood and Coker, Bateman. Then you have and Bateman could even go above like Thielen for right now, honestly. Something like that.
You even go with a Conquo at tight ends. He hasn't done that much, but he had 10 targets today.
I think he deserves to be like above Ertz right now, so we'll put him there.
Okay.
Conquo. Okay, so we got Strange top pickup at tight end. Kraft, Muth, Kincaid, Gray, Juwan, Henry, Fergie. Maybe Fergie goes above Juwan. Maybe Fergie goes above Kincaid. I don't know. Part of me wants to say he's going to get better and better. This is the waiver board for tight ends. Quarterback, AR5, and Knicks, A-Rod, kind of a mixed bag right here. That's your waiver wire board, unless I'm missing somebody. Carson Wentz, I suppose we put him on here. I don't know about, how I feel about like whether I would use. I guess, but in Superflex maybe.
I mean, Superflex leagues for sure.
So I'll put him down here next to the Superflex boys like DTR and Fields and Penix Jr. These are like your Superflex peeps right here. I think that's it. That's good. It's good.
Looking in the chat for anything, is Njoku hurt? Is he going to miss a game? Jordan Aiken isn't bad, but I
think he'll be back.
Oh, he was out this week with his hamstring. Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be back.
Yeah, he should be back.
So
I think that's it. I'll keep an eye on the chat for the next couple minutes, see if anyone else pull anything out. But,
Foster Moreau, sure. Foster Moreau, I guess we can add him. I don't know where, but I mean, like Knox and Moreau are like very close. I don't think there's a big difference between a guy like Knox or Moreau, but Moreau's nice. He's okay.
Quick question on tight end. Next week, would you be starting Otten, or would you take a chance with Kincaid? Now that it looks like they're back to throwing to Evans and McMillan over everybody else.
I could go either way. I think we take that later in the week.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan the negative. I can't have too many people on the phone at the same time because it adds to the static. Hurry up. You got 20 seconds. Go. Tell us your dad joke of the night.
Smitty, sorry if I don't remember what you said, but for Genty, how do you feel if he ends up with like Jonathan Taylor or like a Tony Pollard?
I don't think he will.
On one of those teams.
I don't think he will. The reason I don't think he will is because he's going to go in the top 10 overall. And I don't think a team would be crazy enough to spend draft capital on a running back inside the top 10, at least top 12, and not need the position entirely, like be completely, black hole at the position.
Okay.
I think
and
we're
one other thing, I'm terrified about my Jerry Jeudy with Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yes.
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Smitty.
Yeah, I mean, I anything could happen, but where you have problems where this became a problem in the NFL is when running backs fell into the second round. Then you started to have teams go, we could use a weapon. Whereas in a top 12 overall draft selection, and you could say, well, Smitty, they drafted Bijan into Atlanta and they had Algier, and you could say Gibbs went when they had Monty, but those are very unique situations. But I also believe that Genty is so good. There's no way he gets drafted to a place that, in my opinion, I mean, he shouldn't say no way. I don't think he gets drafted into a location that they aren't like literally going, holy crap, we need. Like, what's the let's see what the projected draft order is for the top 10. Projected NFL draft order. Let's pull that up. ESPN has it right here. Giants and Patriots are looking like they're climbing back up, baby. Patriots. So Giants, Patriots, Carolina Panthers. Let me write this on here. Hold on.
Patriots might even trade back and grab a tackle if people want to move up.
Let's see here.
Do you see the thing where something like 13 GMs say that they think Travis Hunter should focus on cornerback?
That's crazy. The guy's got more like ball handling skills and awareness than anybody in the draft. Yeah. Like that's insane. I wonder if he's going to try and play both ways though. He doesn't care, bro. And Deion's like his like a father figure to him, and Deion's gonna. Yeah, like he's gonna get involved, and even in Travis Hunter's success, and be like, don't draft my second son if you're gonna try and control what position he plays. If he wants to play both, you let him play both.
Why not? Why not see the worst thing that happened? You switch him after a year.
No, you just play him in both, and you see what he does.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's go through the top 12. 11 is Dallas. And then 12 is the Bengals. 13, I'll just keep going. 13 Dolphins. 14 Colts. We'll go top 15. And 15 is the Niners. Woo. The Niner fans are so hilarious. They always think they're getting everybody. They're like, we're going to get Travis Hunter. Hey, we're going to go ahead and just take Travis Hunter. Like he's going to fall to 15. I mean, they could trade up, but Niner fans are hilarious. Like even they talk about Genty, we're going to take Genty. All right, it's a little blurry, but so Giants, they need a running back, but they're going to go quarterback. Patriots, they got to take they got to take McMillan or Hunter or a wide receiver. Like there's no way they don't. I think invest.
It's either that or it's alignment. It's a left tackle.
And Tracy proved
or wide receiver. There's nothing else.
Tracy's pretty good, so I think they're going to go that route. Panthers got Chuba Hubbard. They just signed him. But you never know. Raiders. they got to go quarterback. They have to. Jaguars.
They have to.
They got 2 RBs. I'm not saying they wouldn't consider it, though. Genty's so good. A team like the Jaguars could say bye to ETN and Bigsby in terms of their feelings and their like. The Jaguars could look at it. And don't think Genty can't go as high as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He definitely can. Titans. What's Pollard's deal? Let's look it up.
I think it's either 2 or 3 years. I can't remember what.
Tony Pollard has he's an unrestricted free agent in 2027. They would consider it, but they probably won't. Browns, they could take Genty.
They could. They probably shouldn't.
They're not high enough for one of the quarterbacks to say, screw it, he will just develop. Like, if I was the Browns and I had the one pick, I'm taking Cam or Shador. And I just say, well, we'll just develop him, and obviously you start him right away. But Jets, no, they're not taking Genty. Bears, oh no,
oh God,
no,
please,
please, Lord,
they're right in the sweet spot.
Please, look, we don't ask for much on this show. Oh no, good Lord. Saints. Kamara just signed a little extension. Dallas 11, very much in contention. Bengals, no. I mean, they could, but hopefully not. Chase Brown. Dolphins, you never know, bro. I mean, this is what Miami Mike does.
Who knows?
Are you fast?
Yep.
Colts, no. Niners, maybe. If Genty fell to 15, Kyle Shanahan, I mean, look, CMC's done. But I don't think they would do. They need offensive line and defensive line so much more than they need a running back. Mason got it done. Garendo got it done. Genty's special, though. This is like, the one thing I'll say is when somebody says, and they could trade up. So when we say no way to 15, Genty won't fall, I agree. I've said that he's not falling out of the top 10. But they could trade. This is not a big move up to 7. You know, you could give up something and figure that out. But the one thing I want to put and set people straight on is it doesn't matter if you've got a Tracy. It doesn't matter if you got an ETN. It doesn't matter if you had a Mason and a Grendo. Saying that a team wouldn't go get Genty because they have those types of players makes me understand and know that you haven't been watching college football. You're not versed on college football, and that's okay. That's why you watch the show. So that's not a knock on anybody. I'm just saying, if you think Genty is just some extra running back, like we already have a running back, then you don't understand how good Genty is. It's kind of like looking back and saying that about Adrian Peterson. Oh well, we've got a I don't know, trying to think of a running back then that was in the Adrian Peterson time frame. But that's like, I could compare it to a running back now. That's like saying we've got Jerome Ford. Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams, those type of guys. Yeah, or like even right now, if you say, okay, we've got even Chuba Hubbard, to be honest with you. We got Chuba Hubbard, so why would we go after Genty? Then you don't. I understand that you don't understand what Genty is and what he can become, because those people saying we don't need Adrian Peterson, we've got our equivalent to Chuba Hubbard. You don't know what in the hell you're talking about on this front. That's fine. That's fine. But don't tell me that a team that has even Chase Brown, who we love, we don't want it, but Genty is maybe Adrian Peterson. It's not something you say we have this position covered unless you've got Breece Hall, and let's not pretend Breece Hall fell off, guys. He's being misused, okay? Unless you got Gibbs, Breece Hall, the top 5 RBs, Bijan, guys like that. Unless you have that player, you cannot say, oh, they don't need Genty. Everybody needs Genty. But I guess
looking... There's a... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Jay Ajayi. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, like, there's a lot of people talk about how this is a good running back class, and it is. There's a handful of good running backs, but even being a good running back class, he's clearing away the guy. Like, so just think of it in that term. Think of what, a CMC can do to an offense, or,
he is Bijan.
Like, that type of takeover.
He is Bijan. He is Gibbs.
Yep.
He is Bijan, and he is Gibbs, both of which went inside the top 10 in their prospective draft. Genty is top 7, 8, 9. So, again, in review...
Genty has a power, too. I mean, he's explosive.
Again, so in a review, we're looking at Browns, potentially. Bears, unfortunately, it's in the cards. Dallas, for sure. But will he even fall to 11? And I don't think anybody else has a shot in hell of getting him. I think Dallas is going to be hard-pressed to get him at 11. If they keep doing well, they're going to slip out of contention to get Genty. So Browns, and the quarterback's going here. I'm going to say right now, the Browns or the Cowboys. Or somebody trades up and gets him. Like if I had to guess right now, Browns, Cowboys, or a team that's not here trades up to get him. I got a super chat here. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ron. I left you there so long. Should I drop Hopkins for BTJ? Yes. How is BTJ sitting there on waivers? I don't want to drop Hopkins, but like you're asking me a very direct question. Yes, go get BTJ. He's an absolute, just total freaking league winner. Absolutely, go get him. 100%. Genty dwarfs Richardson's college numbers.
Yes, someone said, "What if he's Trent Richardson?"
What if the sun doesn't rise tomorrow? What if Bitcoin falls? Like, come on, bro. What if he's Trent Richardson? That's almost like who is it that said who is it that I was arguing with that said why Tyler. I think it was Tyler. Like, why go get Shedeur Sanders when he's just going to ask for money later and want to be paid?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why draft Shedeur Sanders? He's just going to want his weight in gold later. It's like that's the exact same rationale.
That's the hope.
Yeah, you hope that that's how good he is. But yeah, so what if he turns into Richardson? Well, what if he turns into Adrian Peterson? He's so good. He's so good. Get ready for my running back rankings. You guys are gonna be blown away. It's definitely gonna be similar to other years where it's like, whoa, really? And then everyone's gonna catch up. Everyone's gonna catch up. Watch. And now Genty's not a surprise. Everyone loves Genty. Everyone loves Genty. Let's go to John real quick. John, go ahead, John.
Hey, Smitty.
You're live.
I just want to say thank you to you and Travis for suggesting Chase Brown over Zach Moss
so
5 months ago. You guys dug into the stats, and you're like the yards per carry better with Chase Brown, and the dude is totally carrying me and a whole bunch of other people, and I think he's going to end up as the top 5 RB.
There you are.
With that, do you have any news on CD Lamb? Like, he left the game in like the third or fourth quarter, and I don't know if he got re-injured.
John, we can't hear you talk. You're talking into your armpit 1 minute, and then we hear you. You're louder the next minute. I don't know what you're doing with the phone.
My bad.
There you are.
I just want to
Welcome.
say thanks for suggesting to take Chase Brown.
Yep.
He's carrying myself and a whole bunch of other people to a championship. But do you have any news on CeeDee Lamb? He left the game the third or fourth quarter after laying down or getting hit, and then he didn't come back in.
About who left the quarter? What? Kamara?
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb.
Oh.
Yeah. Did he re-injure his AC in the shoulder?
I don't think so. Let me pull up the latest news.
I don't think so.
I don't know if you're watching. CeeDee Lamb. goes for 9, 116-1 versus the Panthers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like he got hit and he just laid down and then he didn't come back in.
Probably was frustrated. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong that we won't hear about something, but bro, he's been on the injury report with the back and the foot and the, like he probably sore and he probably was like, probably got hit and goes, God, my back, bro. Because I don't know if you remember, CeeDee Lamb 2 weeks ago said, I'm playing really injured. I'm really banged up. So he's probably he's probably sore, but there's nothing about re-injury. He's going to be on the injury report for sure. Like every week on Monday or Tuesday, he shows up as questionable with the back, the foot, the ankle, the knee, whatever. It did get limited to the back only. And then by Friday, Saturday, he's off the injury report. So you'll see it. Don't get alarmed to go, oh, there it is. Every week he's on it. he's hurt. He's playing hurt, bro.
There was something after the game where CeeDee Lamb said he thought Xavier Woods was targeting his shoulder on one of the hits, and so he probably, he's hurt. He's got a banged up shoulder, so it was probably just hurting him. But,
I got to go, John. The static is out of control when there's two people on the phone. I appreciate you. Thank you. What it is every call is a little bit of static. It's like, and then when two calls are on, it's like, more rain, like double the rains. And then before you know it, it's just crazy. It went away the other day. All right, Travis, anything else? Appreciate you helping with the...
No, I'm all set. I'll jump off.
All right.
Talk to you later.
We'll go static free for a little bit. All right, thanks, Travis. Steve, real quickly, Steve from Iowa, you got 10 seconds. That static's bad, Steve. Steven.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Do we have an update on Wes with the tattoo?
Wes won the bet with his buddy. He didn't bet with me on anything. People are not understanding that came in late. Yeah, nothing. It had nothing to do with me. The only thing I did was draw and sketch the tattoo if he needed to get the tattoo on his lower back or rear end or whatever the bet was that I wanted to draw it.
I remember you drawing it. I thought he was going. I thought he had the Saquon Barkley. So
he bet that AJ Brown would blow Saquon Barkley out of the water, and Saquon got hurt. So he got. I don't want to say he got lucky because that's part of the bet. He just predicted this would happen, and it did. But yeah. All right, bro. I got to hang up the phone line static. Yep. 10 seconds. Go.
Peace out, man.
All right, later, bro. That static is horrible. Garbage. Yeah, he did win his bet, but I mean AJ Brown, everyone's like, did he win the bet against you? We didn't bet anything. I was saying AJ Brown's gonna have a great week, and then he calls in the show, goes, AJ Brown's gonna have more than a great week. I'm gonna one up you, Smitty. So like he didn't say anything we didn't already say. He just came in and said that he's going to blow Saquon Barkley out of the water and blow up. And I was like, why would you bet that on a tattoo? I mean, it worked out for him, but it wasn't crazy. It's just not something you want to bet, putting a Steelers tattoo on your body if you're wrong about betting that AJ Brown, the squeaky wheel gets the grease or the oil like he did. And we knew that AJ Brown would eat. Who got hurt this week? We got to monitor AJ Brown's injury. Got a hip drop tackle, and it looked bad. Hopefully he's okay. Let me see if there's any news on AJ Brown. But we knew AJ Brown was gonna probably get some bread and get fed in this game. But why tie it to Saquon? Like he got so lucky that Saquon got hurt, because that makes no sense to tie a tattoo on your body to Saquon. Eagles rediscover AJ Brown. Let me see here. Brown left in the late fourth quarter with an apparent ankle. Okay, so it was an ankle, not ACL or anything. But appeared ready to go back in. Okay, good. It sounds like AJ Brown's okay. Thank God. Because, Philly losing AJ Brown at the end of the game when it was kind of meaningless. You know, they could have maybe like messed up, not got a first down, punted, they scored, and they did some onsides. But like for the most part, it was, you know, kind of out of reach, and to watch him, you know, get injured, it was tough. But thank God, it sounds like A.J. Brown escaped an injury. He was ready to go back in, the report says. That's fantastic news. JT's embarrassed himself. How these players have not at this point said, I'm not going to let the ball dangle out and drop it right before the goal line when I'm running into the end zone. How do you continue to watch players do this and not say to yourself, I'm going to drop the ball? Never. I'm going to walk it to the back. I would tell my players, if you score a touchdown, you got to set it down on at the back corner of the end zone. You got to walk all 10 yards into the end zone and set it down. You can't drop the ball till you reach the back of the end zone. Because what if you think you're at the back, but you're at the front? You can't drop the ball. In fact, you got to run the ball into the tunnel like Forrest Gump and drop the ball in the tunnel. You're not allowed to release the ball until you're in the tunnel like Forrest. What do we got here? Loved watching that Denver defense. Najee fumble lost the Steelers the game. I don't know about that, but it didn't help, but Bubba Gump hasn't called in yet today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote for tonight. Appreciate you being here for the wrap-up show of the Sunday night game. Patrick Mahomes, high ankle sprain. More to come tomorrow on that. A.J. Brown appears to have avoided a significant injury. We broke down a lot of good topics, like what teams need a quarterback next year and what team is most likely to land Ashton Genty, the top running back prospect to come out of college maybe ever since Barry Sanders. You like how we don't mention Josh Allen? We mentioned Josh Allen. What do you think's up on this board, bro? Mention Josh Allen all the time. Mention Josh Allen all the time. This isn't the wrap-up show of the afternoon games. This is the wrap-up show of the boring Sunday evening game with other news. Josh Allen has been talked about. Josh Allen scored 4 touchdowns. Josh Allen won people leagues. If you were paying attention and you're watching the proper show at the proper time and referencing the proper conversations and content at the right time, you know that Josh Allen was a big topic on our wrap-up show of the afternoon games, where I said, and will continue to say, we told you to draft a QB early. We told you to draft Josh Allen. We told you. We told you.
Let him cook.
Drafting a QB is what we do better than anybody. Late QB shopping, picking Jalen Hurts out before he became Jalen Hurts. Draft him in the 6th, 7th round. He's a moon man. It'll be okay. You'll do good. He did. No one predicted Josh Allen's rise. And I know you can say, Smitty, you always say this, but this is fact. No one predicted Josh Allen's rise before I did. Before he took a snap in the National Football League. And remember, he had a brutal first year. And people weren't sure he was going to be able to throw it all. He's a bad throwing. He can't throw it all. Can't read defense. Can't throw the ball. He can only run. He's a gadget quarterback. He's Tim Tebow. Your boy said on NBC Sports Radio before Josh Allen took a snap in the National Football League, I said Josh Allen will be a top 1 to 5 quarterback before he even took a snap in the National Football League. And to endure the rookie season he endured, and then to still stand on that, it looked like I was a laughing stock coming out of his rookie year. Guy can't throw it all. So no one needs to remind me about Josh Allen. No one needs to remind me.
Let him cook.
It's funny how Smitty just casually doesn't mention Josh Allen. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Don't forget Underdog Fantasy, code Smitty, link in the description of the video and every video. The link's right here if you want to tail any of the hires that we'll have for tomorrow night's games. Don't forget, tomorrow night we have 2 games. We have the Atlanta Falcons and Raiders game. We also have the Chicago-Minnesota game, which is fantastic that we got two games to watch tomorrow. That is tomorrow. Also, don't forget the Patreon. We have so many amazing people. It's basically the same group that you see in the live chat right now on the 24/7, 365 live chat group, which is basically my Patreon. You join my Patreon, there's all these live chat groups in the Patreon. And we're literally sitting in this game day lounge start bench chat group during all of the games, whether it's a Thursday game, Sunday evening game, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Join the Patreon. It's patreon.com/thefantasyfootballshow, or the link's in the description of the video and every video, or the link is right here if you would like to join the Patreon and become a member. I'll see you all tomorrow. And yeah, maybe we'll do a Patreon live audio right now. We should do it right now. I can't promise, but I think I might. So if you guys get ready. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6.
Legend has it if you say St. Brown 3 times in the dark in the bathroom, you will immediately lose your league.
You know, a lot of people ask me to perform miracles on this channel. Smitty, make something amazing happen. And I say, you know what? I can. Watch this. Watch this right here. I'll take this and boom. And then out of nowhere, zoom in on this bad boy. Zoom in on that.
They laughed when we said he was about to be an unstoppable force for all to see. With Chase Brown, get up, get down. With Chase Brown,
Get
Brown, get up.
Buckied.
Bucky. Oh, Bucky.
Where we rank Bucky next year is going to be entertaining and interesting and kind of a fun time. Take a Bucky shower. Get showered by Bucky.